Hi, welcome to Teaching Tricks of the Trade for distance learning or homeschool. Any family that is experiencing learning in the home setting, this is really for you, especially with your young children who are pre-readers or emergent readers. And so today I'm going to share with you some tricks of the teaching trade. My name is Dr. Deanna Wested. I come to you with 21 years of classroom experience in grades K through 3, and I hold my doctorate in curriculum and instruction from the University of South Carolina. So today you're in for a real treat. I'm going to share with you some tricks that will help students who might be either in that pre-reading stage or beginning reading, and they're learning to put letters together to blend words, or any student that is struggling with putting those sounds together to form a word when they read. And this is really for you, and this is exactly what will help them on their way and help fix that type of challenge. And so today I'm going to start out with explaining the difference between phonemic awareness and phonics. So we're all familiar with phonics. Phonics is looking at a letter and knowing what sound that letter makes. So if I point to an A, the child will know that it says A. If I point to a B, the child will know it says B. That is phonics, but that in itself doesn't create readers. Readers need to be able to blend sounds together. And that's where phonemic awareness comes in. So phonemic awareness really starts before children become readers. And in order to do phonemic awareness with children, you have to understand that we need to leave the letters out of it and we need to focus on just listening to the sounds. That's all you're doing. So phonemic awareness is the focus on sounds without connecting them to the letters. We're focusing on the ability to pull out sounds from words, to blend sounds together, to identify sounds in words without connecting them yet to the letter. Now, it doesn't mean that this happens before children learn that A says A or B says B, but it actually should happen simultaneously. That means at the same time. So in order to get going, I'm going to share with you a strategy that teachers often use in their carpet time. Now, I've set it up on my easel, but you don't need to have an easel. You don't need to have a whiteboard. Really, all you need for this activity is a flat surface like a table. And if you have bottle caps, 3 bottle caps, or cubes, die, anything like that that can be a tactile object that the child can move around to represent the sound. Remember, we don't want to yet point to a letter. We want to have them just focus on blending those sounds together. So in my case, I long since gave away my Unifix cubes, but I borrowed, with permission, Legos from my boys who still love to create. And so you can use Lego bricks, you can use any item that can be moved around and represent a sound. It should be easily moved around, and it needs to also probably be either a circular or a square shape. Now, for my purpose today, in order to be able to demonstrate, I actually put on the back, it's going to be tricky for me, but I put on the back some Velcro strips so we could easily see as I manipulate the objects. But you don't need to do that either. You can just have them on a flat surface and move them around. So for starters, these boxes that we have up here, they are called Elkonin squares. Elkonin squares are just boxes that we use as teachers to help students separate the sounds as we manipulate the objects. Okay, so students are really seeing the separation of the sounds. It helps the student visualize. And then of course we have the object that's representing the sound. Remember, we're not yet using letters, but that will come later. And that this activity actually leads not only to reading, but it leads to spelling. And so this is a great foundational activity. It's a great review for readers who, first, second grade students. And it's a great strategy for students that are struggling no matter what age that they are. This activity should take no more than 5 minutes. It can be real quick, really easy. The only thing you're going to need, like I said, is a flat surface, 3 objects that you can move and represent the sounds, and you're going to need a few words that have 3 letters in them. And it's a certain type of word. It's a word that has a consonant, a vowel in the middle, and a consonant at the end. And we call that CVC words. And this is, going back to the reason we start with the word cat. We know that's a really beginning word for students, one of the first words they learn to spell and read. That's the stereotypical word we think of when we think of beginning readers. And so that actually is a CVC word because it has a consonant at the beginning, a vowel in the middle, and a consonant at the end. So we want to pick words that follow that pattern, that spelling pattern, because that is the foundation to build upon. And before you know it, you'll be doing blends and all other sorts of phonic activity. So I have brought a few words. Now, I suggest that when you're introducing the word, you not necessarily show the letters. So as you can see, I'm going to find where you can see it. It says map, but you're not able to see it. That's okay. But I have a map here. And on this map, I have the word down here. I'm going to actually fold that under. You don't need to have a picture. You can just actually use the word. You can think of it in your head. And I like to toss my words out to students, to my own kids when they were small. So you can make it a real fun, active game. So I throw it out. I say, okay, catch the word when I throw it. Map. I don't actually throw it. I just pretend to throw and they catch it and they say it. Map. I said, okay, let's listen to the sounds. And I get out my arm and the beginning sound is at the beginning, at the shoulder, ah, p, and then I blend it, map. All right, now what did I hear at the beginning? I have a ah, p, and then I blend it, map. Now what's really cool about getting objects like this is that you can take them, and again, you don't need to use a Velcro. I jerry-rigged this in order to be able to model this for you, but you can see I have one that's being kind of stinky. Okay, so you can move these around as you say the sound, and that really builds connections because remember, children do better when they're learning in multiple ways. And so if they're moving something as they're making the sound and they're saying it as they're thinking the sound, those are multiple ways that they're exercising that skill, and that will make those connections much faster. So let's go back to the word map. I threw the word out. We listened to it on our arm. Map. Now we can take our manipulatives and we can listen to them. So I have I put it in my first box. I have put it in my second box. And moving these around really helps the child make the connection. They're moving as they're saying it, and that just gives extra support to their learning. And then you can go back and touch each box. Map. What word do I have? Map. So that is a really great way to practice and begin blending and help children who are struggling with blending. So let's take another word. I'm going to take the word jam. And again, this is my picture of jam. And I'm just going to fold that word under. I'm not going to show them the letters just yet. That's going to come later. If they're struggling with blending words together, the best thing to do is take a step back and do this type of activity. If you have a pre-reader, it's great that they're learning the sounds and connecting them to the letters, but take a step back also and do an activity like this to help them get ready for blending as they're reading actual words. Okay, so I'm going to take my word. I have my jam and I'm going to throw it out. Jam. And they're going to catch it. Jam. They say it at the same time. We stick out our arm. J, a, jam. And what this is doing is it's really helping the child feel the difference. This is at the beginning, this is in the middle, and this is at the end. And something to keep in mind is the middle sound is always the sound that, well, I won't say always, there's always a child that doesn't follow the rule, but typically children struggle with the middle sound. We call it the medial vowel. That tends to be the hardest for children. And so if your child is having trouble hearing that middle sound, you can just stretch it out for them. Okay, stretch it. Jam. What do I hear in the middle? I hear an A. Or I say, okay, let's sing it. Jam. Oh, what do you hear in the middle? I hear an A. And that really helps them to isolate that sound. So once again, we can move the boxes around and touch each one as we say the sound. So we have j, and then we're going to blend it. Jam. Okay? That is a great strategy. You can do just a couple of words. It can be a fun game that you play. Let's play a sound game, and that will connect you with your child, boost their learning in just 5 minutes. And if they're struggling with stringing sounds together, this is exactly what will help to put them on that path to fixing that. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me today. Please feel free to share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. It's a free resource, and if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I will get back to you. And check out my Instagram. I have some ideas I share, as well as my Facebook page, Deanna Westet, EDD. All right, thanks for stopping by.